How to be master of your time. I researched how Stanford students plan their time, how successful entrepreneurs and C-level people balance between hobbies, sports, family, and business. And today, I'm going to share all that in this video. My name is Alexander, and I'll be showing how to manage time effectively. Let me start with a helicopter view on the whole system. It consists of four main components: Kanban, calendar, master aim, and 6 life areas. Kanban is basically a place where each task that you want to do, each project or each event is stored. When you have an idea, you just put it into Kanban, and then this idea starts growing. At the same time, calendar answers question, when do I choose to do those things? When exactly do I dedicate time for them? How do I do time blocking? And these two are connected with 6 life areas and master aim. Master aim basically answers question, what do I choose to do and not to do in my life? What do I put in Kanban and what do I ignore? Regarding the 6 life areas, this is basically something that makes the whole system colorful and life much more balanced. Before I dive deeper into the whole system, let me share a quick personal story of how I actually came to this. So a year ago, I was finishing my master's, and I had to do many things at once. A research paper, master thesis. I had to look for a job at the same time. I had plenty of ideas of side projects. At the same time, I had to basically dedicate time to my family, to sports, to basic routines, not forget about my hobbies, friends, and all of those were taking a lot of time and energy. My system of planning was not prepared for that. I didn't have proper calendar, my to-do lists were all scattered around and on paper, and when the load increased even more, I simply burnt out. Well, I decided at that moment of time, and it was very painful, that I don't want this experience anymore. I would better do maybe a little bit less of things, but structure them properly. And I went to YouTube to search for ideas of what can be actually done. And I found out a couple of really cool solutions. One came from Stanford students regarding calendar and time blocking. And another one came from entrepreneur Margulan Sesenbaev and his system called Kaidzen Planning. This system requires you to have a Kanban to plan time effectively. And after that, for already a year, I've been using that system, that I changed myself, made it evolve a little bit. And honestly, now I feel very, very relaxed about my time. Because I know what I want to do. I can decide to kill things. I can decide to take on new challenges. And I know how much time I have to do that exactly. Let's now make a deep dive into the system. And the first thing that I would like to cover will be master aim. This is not a mandatory component of the system, but this is more of a mental framework that helps you to decide which projects and events you actually want to do in your life. It is very simple. It is just a one-line statement that explains what challenges you take on. For me, for example, current master aim is live happy, balanced life by planning and structuring chaos for myself and others. Another example could be from video of Margulan Sesenbaev when he told that his master aim is to live happy, balanced life and serve people. For you, it can be anything else, whatever you come up with. You can also ignore this master aim completely, because the whole system works without it. It's just something that allows you to filter out things when you have too many of incoming ideas. The second and most important part of my system is Kanban. Kanban is basically a place where you can see all the tasks that are happening in your life and decide what exactly to do with them. It's basically several columns with icons with tasks. For me, there are 6 columns. For some other people, there can be from 3 to 7. Essentially, they're all the tasks that you have can be put in 3 categories. Something that you have to do, something that you are doing now that is in progress, and something that is already done. For me, in progress category is a little bit bigger. For instance, it can be something scheduled that I decided to do and already dedicated time to it in calendar. Something that is in progress right now that I'm working on this week or this month or this day, something that I'm putting a lot of energy and focus into. Something that is blocked or parked, meaning that it does not depend on me really, the progress on this thing. For example, if I decided to go to some country and I applied for visa, I need to wait for response. Rhythm. There I put everything that I do on a weekly basis a lot of times. For example, sleeping, doing groceries, doing cooking, going to the gym. These all tasks will be polluting the system unless there is a dedicated column for them or unless you are keeping track of them in the back of your mind. But I prefer to put them here and inside those small cards edit some details on them. And finally, column done or killed. This is the column that brings the most satisfaction. After you've done a task, you just simply put the card into it, and it means that the task is finished, everything is done. I call it also column killed because if there is some project or some task that you tried to do but it does not really go through, sometimes it's better to kill this project deliberately and not dedicate any more attention, focus, time to it at all. On a level of cards, whenever you want to do something, you can just create a card by pressing new page. I'm using an app called Notion, but you can use any other app to do that. It can be a Jira, a Trello, or anything else. You can wipe code your own app, for instance. And then I can make a name to this task and maybe add some icon to it. And after that, color it into some specific color of one of 6 life areas that I will cover later. And after that, okay, task has appeared in your Kanban. After that, if you want to schedule it, to put it in your calendar, you can put it to scheduled. If you are currently working on it, it goes to progress. If something happened and the task gets blocked, it's blocked. And inside that task, you can also do something. And that's actually a very cool feature of Notion. For instance, I can create a to-do list. For instance, let's say I'm going on vacation. What do I need to do? Plan trip. I need to gather my backpack. I need to maybe do research on tickets and plan budget, right? And all these things can go to here and then can be ticked off. And after everything is ticked off, it just goes to done. At the same time, you can go even deeper in this thing. For instance, if you have a very big project, for example, creation of a company, or maybe you need to make a platform, or maybe there is a, whatever huge project there is, you can create a Kanban board inside a list that is inside a Kanban board. So, for instance, here I used a custom Notion's Kanban board and put it inside the list of this project. And now voila, we can work on this project with a separate Kanban. There is one more thing that I would like to mention about the notes in Kanban. I usually prefer when they have an aim and a why attached. Aim is what is the aim of this specific task or project. If it is something big, ideally you should formulate it via a SMART method. And why is a personal motivation to do that thing. Basically, aim and why help you to align your master aim with the aim of this specific project or with your personal why. They allow you to see through your motivation, and if you do not lie to yourself about why you're doing this specific thing, you can really well clarify what you are doing and why. Really useful thing. I sometimes apply it when I'm not sure about making a project, whether I should continue with it or whether I should just stop doing it.
So take this as one of the hints of what you can do in future. And finally, I also have some rules for my Kanban. There are 3 very simple rules that I battle tested. The first one is that one card is 1 unit of work. Basically, it means that you should not split tasks when it is not necessary onto different cards, and that you should not put them together when it is not necessary. Basically, it's an Occam's razor that you can apply while cutting your tasks in pieces. For example, a standard for me right now is to put one card for one project, one card for a specific type of activity I'm doing regularly, or one card for a specific big task that I want to do. For example, fix a bicycle. It's one task that I know how much approximately time will take, I know what is required to do in that task, and I basically can write to myself inside that small card some information that will help me to fulfill that task. The second rule is simple as well. The more important tasks are always on the top. So basically, whenever you do not know what to do, you would just drag one card from the top of your column and do it. I very well represented it in a rhythm column. Basically, what is the most important for any human being? Definitely sleep. What else is very important? Well, definitely eating, so it's cooking and groceries, and doing exercises, gym. Okay, with these 4, I've already closed the most important thing for survival. The next one goes some family, talking to family, basically getting energy through social conversation with people who you like. And then you go yada yada yada, more and more and more things, from most important to least important. For instance, if I don't have time, I don't have to do ironing really. But, well, it would be nice to have, right? And the third rule, I've already talked about it. It's when one card should have an aim and a Y attached to it. Basically, something that helps you to determine whether to do this task or actually not do it.
Third component of the system, 6 life areas. It's a very simple thing. You see all the cards here in this Kanban, they have different colors. It looks just beautiful, but it also has a meaning. The meaning is quite simple. Whenever I create a task, I add it to one of the 6 life areas. And they are mental health, family and friends, physical health, work and business, hobbies, and routine. Whenever I create a task, this task always falls into one of those categories. For example, if I want to learn something new, or if I want to do some mental practice, this is about mental health. If I want to spend time well, just have fun, get back my energy, I can call my parents, go out with friends, this falls into category family and friends. If it is something that brings me money, this is work and business. If it is something that brings me joy, that I just like to do, that is my hobby, this is a hobby. Something that I like doing, that I'm good at, but that does not bring me money. For example, for me it is public speaking and board games. And finally, category routine. It's something that I have to do, without which my life will not function well, but that does not really move the point much. So, for example, it can be ironing clothes, washing clothes, doing dishes. All this stuff is just a routine process that can be actually delegated to somebody else, but for me currently, it is done by me. And finally, physical health. It's everything that is about training, doing cycling, doing cardio, doing strength exercises, going to the gym, or doing cycling or running. This falls into category of physical health. All these things together are here not for fun. Basically, they allow me to fulfill the aim of having a balanced life. I can actually go to the view of the balance wheel of my Kanban. I can filter things by current Kanban and by what is being done currently, and can see what takes the most of my time.
For example, right now it's routine. Oh, it's crazy. 27% of time I dedicate to routine processes. Oh my God, how can I delegate it to somebody else? And like 19%, for instance, is work. Okay, good. And what else do I do? Then I see what I dedicate the most and least time to, and I can decide whether I want to maybe do more things in that area or in another area. Finally, fourth piece, calendar. Whenever a task goes from to do to scheduled or to in progress or to rhythm, I dedicate time to it in calendar. And after that, the task is officially in my system. For example, for rhythm, I can have such things as having lunch, preparing, going to the gym, or ironing my clothes. I just create a time block for it in my Google Calendar and I put it on repeat to repeat every week or every month or every single day. For other slots that I have, I just dedicate a special time for them in my calendar. For example, I usually work from 9 to 1 and from 2 to 6, and after that I do some mental activity or hobby or family and friends activity or some physical activity. Sometimes days can differ, but the main idea is that you just put some tasks that from your Kanban to your calendar and decide how much time you want to dedicate to them. There is a cool advice that I can give you here. Usually, in the first part of your day, you can be very good at your analytical tasks. Whatever requires you to program something, to understand something difficult, to study well, this is first part of your day. After lunch, it's the best time for meetings, if you have a lot of meetings in your work. Alternatively, you can just continue with your processes that do not require as much mental activity. And the third part of your day, after approximately 6 p.m., it's the best time for social energizing activity, for family, for friends, for hobbies. So something that just keeps you energized but does not require that much effort. And well, every single Sunday I will sit and for an hour do Kaidzen Planning. Kaidzen Planning is basically a situation when I take new tasks, drag them to schedule, to in progress, clean up my whole Kanban, and then put those tasks to this week that will follow. I would also do this process sometimes every Wednesday if the week is really well loaded. Or if you are, for instance, an entrepreneur, you can consider doing that every single day. For instance, the creator of video from who I took this main information, Margulan Sesenbaev, he does it every single day for an hour because he has immense number of things to do. So use this system and tweak it to the way you like it to perform. Tweak it just to the way how you live, what you do, and what is important for you.
Well, thanks, Alexander. That's a really cool system, but how to actually get started with it? It's quite complex, right? Well, no, it's quite simple, I would say. And you can start it very, very simply. Just do what I did. You start with calendar. You just find a Teams calendar or a Google calendar and you put some basic routine processes to it, like when you get up, when you take lunch, and for a week you just keep up with this. Meanwhile, you create a Kanban. It can be an Notion Kanban, which has a free default for a Kanban board. It can be a Jira or a Trello or anything else. And you start putting some tasks to backlog, to do. And you can, for instance, for the beginning have just 3 columns, to do, in progress, and done. And then you start visiting and revisiting this whole system every, say, several days. Like every third day I would go and spend 1 hour on improving that system. Just look at what I built in this video and try to copy it. Or go to videos of other authors and copy what they are doing. And with time, your system will evolve. One day you can decide what mastering you want to pursue. Another day you can decide what life areas you would like your tasks to be spread around. For example, I changed mine quite a lot. For some time I had a life area called networking, to go and deliberately talk to people and get new connections, which was very boring. But I just merged it into work and business and decided to, for example, split up health into physical health and mental health. And well, now it feels really right. With time, try to add more things to your Kanban. Try to put there every single thing you do so that you can have an overview of everything in that system. Sometimes maybe you would like to dedicate time to making it more beautiful. For instance, every time I look at my Kanban, oh, I love how it looks. It's just so colorful and nice. I love that. Sometimes you would have no energy to do that, and it's fine. You can skip a day, but then just come back to it and keep improving the system. If you are deep into agentic AI, for instance, you can even automate this whole thing. Imagine you send a message to Telegram saying, hey, assistant, add this task to my calendar and to my Kanban for calendar this time and to Kanban like this, and there are this and this in to-do list for that stuff. And it immediately appears in your Kanban and your calendar. Or maybe even after that gets into production by another AI agent. Just think about that. There is plenty of room for improvement. This is just a mental framework for you to progress and be really master of your time.
Here is what I just came up with. What if I make actually an AI help me to manage that system? So I took Claude, connected it through MCP servers, which can be easily done in settings, to Google Calendar and to Notion. And also I added on the top a sprinkle of Wispr Salt app that allows me to dictate with the voice to Claude what to do. Okay, Claude, I'm planning a trip to Paris on 28th of January. From 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I will be visiting Montmartre. From 12 to 13, I will be launching at some restaurant in Paris. From 13 to, say, 15, I will be going around Paris. And right before that and right after that, like before and after those events, I will also have a train from Paris into Paris. Please create several blocks in the calendar that would show what I'm doing, and also make a task to Notion, a page to Notion, to my Kanban, to a category that is called scheduled. Like I have in progress, I have scheduled, so I put it to scheduled, and also put a select category to it as hobbies, and make a to-do list that is representing what I will be doing in reality. So taking a trip and then doing visiting Montmartre, etc. So let's see what he will do. So ideally he should right now call tools of Notion. Voila, he does Notion search. So he uses an MCP server to connect to Notion tools to create something. He also asks my permission to do something in calendar. I did not allow him to do it all the time yet, so he asked me permission every time. With Notion at the same time, I already gave him permission, so he does it all the time himself. And as a result of that thing, I should be able to see all those tasks. Actually, I spent quite a lot of time explaining him what to do, so I think ideally what you would need to do in future to improve even more is to create a skill for Claude. A skill is just a basic prompt that is stored by Claude and used every time you want to do a specific task. If he sees that this task corresponds, he will use that skill. So okay, he says he finished. Let's see what he did. Kanban. No, nothing. Come on, Claude. What the heck? Okay, but at the same time, for planning trip to Paris, he actually did that, you see? Okay, we have that stuff. Very good. Let's ask Claude to fix his error with Kanban. Okay, look, so here, yeah, he did create it, but he did not put it to Kanban. Okay, okay. Time period, monthly Kanban, very good. And here we go, Paris day trip, January 28th. Did he put anything inside? Oh, wow. Take a train from Nice to Paris. Okay, visit Montmartre. He even put what exactly I need to visit. Okay, very nice of him. Explore Paris. Great. And notes. Remember to book train tickets. Oh, yeah, thank you very much, Claude. You are such a helpful assistant.
That's it. The whole system is here, presented in this video. So if you have any questions, please comment below. I will try to answer as many as I can. And I hope this system will serve you well, that you will actually employ it and develop it, make your own personal system, and become not just a master of your time, but a grandmaster of your life.